let's try this again.
Yeah. What's up, YouTube?
What's going on, YouTube? So, I wanted to make a video addressing like all the questions I get as far as like the female reproductive system, periods, and people message me about PCOS and all that kind of stuff. So I thought we'd talk about it and go over just the process, you know, I don't know, go over some things. What was that? Now I'm all messed up.
You're just talking about the cycle and how like the different, you know, different toxicity levels, I guess, in your routine brought about different symptoms in your menstruation, and for other women, some of them, like I was saying, they hemorrhage in blood. You said some have had even 10-day periods, stuff like that.
Yeah, like people will message me and tell me like they're having 10-day periods, or some even have crazy moments of like a month. I was just kind of sharing my experience of like, I've never really had like too painful of periods, like cramps, or like even week-longs. Like if they go more than like 3 days, I know like I did something wrong. Like something's not balanced, something's off.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I was saying that my period used to be all over the place when I was not vegan, and I was eating food that was just not vegan.
Technically on the like
like the ingredients don't have animals in them.
Yeah.
But they're still trash. My period was just it was inconsistent, and just whenever I had like I was not aligned with it at all. And then.
So you saw it get closer to the new moon as you got more away from toxicity?
Yeah, like now that I've learned the breath, and like I was saying, mainly eat raw, and if anything, just do a lot of fasting in general. Really, it's every new moon. Like right now is a new moon, and I know I'm about to get my period. I just feel it in everything. In my body, I can just feel like I know now. Like I don't have to. People got apps and stuff to track their periods. I don't even need I just be knowing.
Yeah, it's definitely lunar. So
yeah, so I feel like I'm finally kind of lining up. Every now and then, like I can tell like just certain little lifestyle changes I make affect it directly. But yeah, people were asking me, I guess, like as far as like the painful periods go, like how they can. I don't know, I guess solve it. I don't know. Most of it's like inflammation, I would feel like, right? As far as like cramps go, and
yeah, I mean, like I said, like I don't have the hardware, and you know, I'm not a female. I don't know it from the first person, but I've intimately watched many females go through the process, and yeah, I could just tell if she had a very toxic month, emotionally, physically. Like again, that's all going to be tied into what she eats, especially if she eats what she feels like eating. So if if she's eating like that for a month, then the period's going to be longer. It's going to be heavier. It's going to be more, cramping. Just, yeah, like you said, it's just you're eating inflammatory foods, and then the organs swell, the uterus swells, the lining of the uterus gets stiff from the starch, and then the blood doesn't circulate like it should, and then you have a bunch of dead blood in there in different pockets, and you just have a nasty period. And
that's why birth control is the dumbest thing you could probably do to your body, and I'm like really mad at myself for ever doing it, kind of, but I've let that go. But it just I'm still like dealing with that. Like I've been off of it for, I don't know, I think I stopped when I was 17, 18.
Yeah.
I was only on it for maybe like 2 years, and it's still like killing me. Like I can still feel that I gotta like detox from that. It's so unnatural.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the most unnatural thing I feel like you could do.
You're pretty much tricking your body.
Yeah, every month, like playing games, like April Fools on your uterus.
Yeah, no, it can't be good. It can't be good for the ovaries and the whole system. I mean, it's gonna beat up on your liver in general when you're taking anything like that, anything carcinogenic that's an isolated substance and it's not organic.
Yeah.
It's gonna create issues in the whole system, and
like it's gonna be imbalanced.
Yeah.
And that's why I guess like everybody has PCOS. I get so many messages with women that have the cysts on their ovaries. I mean, I have them. I feel like I'm still getting rid of them. It's from birth control though, because it's just like threw off the hormones.
Yeah, I feel like that females, I guess, play God that way. Males, they play God because they feel like they can just spill seed and ejaculate all the time. That's kind of like their birth control in a sense because it keeps them at a lower potency level.
Yeah.
So that they're kind of, you know, for me, since I was spilling seed in my early years and my teens and stuff, I feel like I'm still recovering from that now.
Yeah.
Like, and if I wasn't doing that then, I'd probably be like Dominican or black looking at this point, because, you know what I mean, people be like, man, you're getting dark or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yo, it's really because I'm not losing chi.
Yeah, you're keeping it to yourself.
Yeah, and that's why I feel like with women, you know, all month they'll just be losing chi, blowing the chi, eating garbage, and then this creates a heavy period.
I was gonna say, and then you get 10-day periods, and you're losing a lot.
They have these back pains. No, those are your kidneys.
Yeah, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, like
tender chest or any of that.
Endocrine system is just it's just havoc on the endocrine system at this point. People eating against the circadian rhythm. People it's playing God in many ways. I'm gonna eat when I want. I'm gonna do this when I want. I'm gonna press this button when I want. And it's like, no, there's a universal will.
And then people think they can heal when they want.
Yeah.
Too, kind of.
Yeah, no, it's like, there's a universal will that you can be aligned with it, and you could be one with the universal will, or you could be against it and get crushed by it. So that's it. It's that simple. Like, really, like, you just it's more about self-respect than anything. It's like,
it comes down to that, really.
Yeah, because ultimately, if you respected yourself, you would know that like every action has a reaction. So if you're acting away from harmony, you're gonna get a return that's away from harmony. And then the more you do that, the more you dig a hole of disharmony and needing to compensate and constantly do one thing to make up for the last thing you did.
And another thing, like as far as like, you know, reproductive healing is like who you allowing up in there as far as your partner goes. Because that has damage effects too. I feel like people don't think of that.
Yeah, emotionally,
You letting another body inside your body, it's gonna have an effect. Like you're saying, everything has, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's cause and effect.
Things don't just happen; they happen because of a cause.
So.
And then like women too, is, you know, as far as like female ejaculation or release of water, you lose kidney chi. I've seen it many times. You know, where a female. It's funny, man. It's more than just the I guess the surface level of it. Like a female, like if she's losing the chi, then it's running through me, and then like I'm accepting this energy of her like unconsciously killing herself. Since she's losing kidney chi, it's gonna affect her lower back. Lower back's associated with her income and money flow. So like I'm taking the energy that would go towards her money, and then so she won't get as much money, and then that affects me personally because it's not as much money between us. So then it's like
a domino.
So you just see it, you know, once you've like really experimented with it, and you're like, okay, I'm done playing God, you know, I'm gonna just do things when they make sense. And when like, you know, my whole body is in agreement and I'm sober, you know. People don't realize like food is drugs. You know what I mean? And like,
and you like meshing bodies under these drugs.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
Food is medicine, and every doctor on earth takes the Hippocratic Oath, and Hippocrates said that food was medicine. So it's not like that I just made that up and said food was medicine. Every doctor ever takes that oath, and they take the Hippocratic Oath. Hippocrates in the oath is pledging to Imhotep. So ultimately, food is medicine. It's not to be just toyed with. It's not for just entertainment.
You got so far from that though.
I mean, holistically, you would with the colors and everything, color arrangement, make it aesthetic, make it smell good, arrange it. You know, have some food feng shui or whatever. You know, but it's just a respect thing. It's just respect. You know, putting things in their elemental order. You know, like putting the breath first. Like perfection is showed to us every day. Like, oh, air, fire, water, earth. This is the order of perfection. It's so simple. Let me start my day with breath work, and then I'll get some sunlight.
Order the chakras and everything too. Like.
Exactly. And then you get some hot water or something, and then maybe get some earth or put some herbs in your water.
Right.
You know, because the food is medicine. It should be
how to root you.
Yeah, exactly. You're doing things again for a purpose. You know, with intention, not like just because people do it with intention. People are disciplined. They're disciplined in hurting themselves.
I was gonna say.
The
pathway to hell is paved with good intentions.
Exactly. You know, so it's just misplaced. Everything's misarranged. There's never any lack. It's just like everything's flipped upside down or just misarranged.
I was gonna say, as far as herbs go, for the reproductive system.
The
ones that I feel like helped me a lot was like red raspberry leaf, red clover, and black cohosh, and sarsaparilla. I guess those would be like my main 4. Unless you got some other ones you want to throw in.
I mean anything that's gonna help balance your endocrine system. You know what I mean? Sea moss, bladderwrack. You know what I mean? Just so you can get that mineral content, and yeah, just just filling those gaps, teaching the body, reminding the body how to create something, because food doesn't give you energy, it reminds you of your energy. It reminds you alchemically how to produce something. Like people run to vaccine logic, like inject diseases into them to teach them how to defend things supposedly. So if you don't have a bunch of garbage in you, and you didn't have yesterday's food and the day before that in you, and your body was completely present for a meal or a food, which is medicine, then your body would be able to go back to that memory upon recall, and then it will start to recreate it. It's just like if you say like, oh, I feel like having a smoothie, you can start to feel the feeling on your tongue and the taste and all that. You're recreating the whole thing alchemically. And then you're beginning to create the memory now of you going to the place to get it, and it's like that's the whole creative process. And again, it's the same thing, like air regulates thought, and then you're going into the fire, so you're getting the visual, and then something like it just go, and then in the earth levels, it's less. So it's all obvious, it's all apparent. Like it's just people neglect things because it doesn't suit their identity. That they, again, I always say, like, if you're reaching for something, you're saying it's not you. So every time you're reaching for a food, you're creating that need, and that creates your identity. That molds your identity. Because you're saying, I'm not this, so I'm that. You know what I mean? Instead of saying everything is me, and it's just a mirror of it.
That's a good way to put it.
So it's people are eating emotionally, and something like a lunar cycle is extremely sensitive to emotion.
It's like,
so any menstruation cycles are divinely tied to emotion.
What would you say as far as like women who have very intense mood swings with their period? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know girls that are like just overly emotional.
The hypothalamus is thrown off probably from eating starch, because the hypothalamus regulates your temperature and your moods. Hypothalamus is essentially the moon in your body. So the hypothalamus, when you eat things that throw off homeostasis, that throw off your temperature, you're gonna get moody. You know what I mean? So if I ate something yesterday, or again, people, they haven't cleared this out, so it could have been something they ate a week ago. That's just now passing, and it's just throwing off the hypothalamus, and then they don't know, like, I ate this out of an emotion or an emotional state of lack, and now it's being processed through me, and now I'm feeling.
Now it's coming out.
So, and since it's all haphazard and not conscious, and not, I'm eating this food, fully experimenting this food, seeing what it does for me. Wait 3 or 4 hours to process that, and then maybe if if my whole body wants something, then do something again. There's no respect like that. People don't have that kind of respect.
Or presence.
Yeah, people don't eat food because they're saying, like, for a purpose. It's not like, I'm eating this food so I can go run a mile. Most people are just saying, like, I feel.
It's pure entertainment.
I feel like eating this. So you're saying you're in emotional distress.
It's very mindless. Very like you were saying, like playing God.
Like,
and I think
the most devilish God that you could be.
I think a lot of people will, like, I've made videos about like the herbs and healing as far as the reproductive system, and everybody's just thinks of it as like just a physical, like, healing thing. Like it's just like, I'm gonna take these herbs and then I'm gonna heal. But it's not. It's so much more than that. It's so many layers to it. Like, if you taking herbs and still.
It's like if you had diabetes or something, you cut your foot off because it was swelling because the circulation was bad. It's not going to stop the diabetes. You have to stop putting the stuff in your body, and the reason you put it in there is because the emotional sense of lack.
Like it goes back to that more than anything, like the spiritual and emotional lack or need or whatever it is that you're feeling. It got you to this point physically. It's
the arrangement. Again, like the air. You're even thinking like that because your spine is thrown off because your organs are swollen. Your organs swell, there's pressure in the spine, your posture breaks down. You do that for your whole life, your posture is just gonna be bent. And then your thoughts are gonna be bent, like an antenna is bent. You're not gonna pick up what you would naturally pick up. So you're thinking from a jaded point of view. You're not even thinking from a aligned point of view.
And then people be frustrated when it doesn't heal in like a month. When you've been like that for like 10 years, 10 plus, 20 plus years.
Your parents, and your parents' parents, and your parents' parents.
This is undoing a lot.
Yeah.
So like.
But nobody wants the energy. I mean, responsibility, because that's the same thing. Energy is responsibility, guys. So
the
people
patience
don't.
and the presence.
Yeah.
Aren't really.
It comes down to value systems.
Yeah.
You know, people, they're saying like, I don't want to be present for this because it takes me out of my identity or my concept of myself. But I'll be present for these other things that destroy me.
Yeah.
The true me, and promote this idea of myself.
Yeah. And giving your energy away to all these other things.
Yeah, like ultimately it's like this idea of themselves that becomes self-actualized in their body, and it's like them eating themselves on the inside. Like it's like if I have a persona that I cannot maintain, and then the persona gets my body killed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like whether it, you know, whatever it is, even if it's an entertainer that has a persona that is, you know, put their body in position to be hurt or murdered, you know, that persona basically became actualized and killed the reality.
Yeah.
And so it's like you created this parasite and it ate you, pretty much.
Yeah. It's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially, that's what's going on.
Yeah. People, you know, they'd rather live for the persona instead of the reality.
Yeah.
The master dwells in reality and lets all illusions go.
The Dowler. Right?
Yeah.
The Towler.
Yeah.
I guess what I was just gonna leave off with was like, yeah, so I don't know, that's a hard question to answer, like how can people get aligned with the lunar system? But like, so what, women should be like on the new moon, probably like,
that would be in,
that's the ideal time to shed
because
blood.
Yeah, you would be starting a new cycle.
Yeah.
You plant seeds in darkness.
Yeah.
You plant, you know, I mean, you bury the seed in the darkness in the soil. So when the new moon, it's the darkest night on the new moon, you should be going through your menstruation. You should be going through your menstruation around the full moon. Sorry, you should be ovulating on the new moon.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So ovulation should be on the new moon, because that's when you're planting the seeds.
Yeah.
And then you should be menstruating on the full moon, because that's when you come to full realization. Because the full moon would be like full shed of who I was. It dies, then you know you.
Mine's like flipped.
Yeah. So then.
Because mine used to be the full moon, and it was always so intense.
So yeah, because that's full. You know, that's when the moon. You're going through your struggles in the first 2 weeks of the moon.
Yeah.
And it's like enlightenment, and then you going back into the darkness to reset, set new intentions, and then you start a whole new process. And if you're going through ovulation during new moon, that's a good time to plant seeds. If you're having children, and if not, it's a good time to just store that chi.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to have children, but it's a good time to be storing chi. So yeah, the full moon should be full enlightenment, full like detox at its peak. You come to all the struggles of that month, and you've sorted it, and you're gonna implement what you've learned for the next 14 days to where you get better, wrap it up, and then ovulate. You harvest basically, and then you go through the next set of struggles. And then detox some more, and then that's pretty much how it goes. So you like any farmer, you know, look at it like that. Kind of gotta look at your body like that. Yeah,
it's really simple, kind of when you think about it. I would say, I don't know. It's probably the most questions I get. Thinking, that's probably about it.
Yeah, I mean. It's just.
I feel like periods shouldn't be like normalized as this super painful time. Like I just feel like it's so normalized.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she's on her period, and like it just needs cramps and headaches and like a terrible time for like a week. It's not normal.
Yeah, no, it's
like it's hard to say like not normal, but for lack of better words, I guess.
Yeah, and then it's like then it synchronizes and times out the sex. Usually, I find that people are. Pretty much like, we gotta do the sex at this time because of this, and then we gotta do this at this time because of that, and then it makes everything routine, and then the more you measure things routine, and more it's just dull, and then it's not it's not even, you're not fully present. The body's just like on autopilot. Yeah. And you just like, you're telling yourself that it was good because it might have been good the first time.
Do you have a book on any of this that you recommend, like as far as your books that I could link down below? You got the Busted Nuts, right? Or the World of, what is it?
Busted is a world created by nuts.
I'll have that link down below.
All right, yeah, but Healing One Day is my newest. It's my new Healing One Day by R. Bud. It's on Amazon, or you can get the PDFs directly from me.
Yeah, I'll have the info in the description. I guess that's about it. I guess if you guys have any more questions, leave them down below, but that's really it. That's all.
Yeah, that's about it.
Laters.